Hi, good evening. Um, as you guys can see, we have a very special guest. Her name is Erica Suarino, and she is here from the Food Bank of New York. Yay! And she is our special guest today who will be showing us pretty much what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks, which is showing us how we can make wonderful choices with our through shopping with our gift cards that we receive from the food bank. And so she's going to show us how to make a lovely meal today, which I'm so excited for. I wish I didn't have to do both hosting and cooking, but I mean, it's okay. I would have, I'll eat after, but I'm definitely paying attention because I would love to make this. It sounds nutritious and it just sounds like it doesn't break the bank either, which is what I love. So, Erica, without further ado, I know I probably spoke so much already on you, but
No, you're good.
without further ado, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and
Sure.
tell our students about you and what you do.
Sure. So, hi everyone. As Cecilia said, my name is Erica Suarino, and I am a community nutritionist with the Food Bank for New York City and the Just Say Yes to Fruits and Vegetables program, which is through the New York State Department of Health. And I'm really excited to be here talking to you today about how to shop smart and save money on buying groceries. There's some really great tips that we're going to go over about how you can plan ahead and save money. So I think it's really useful for everybody. And then we're going to make a delicious meal today. We're going to make black bean veggie patties. So if you are a big fan of veggie burgers, or if you've never had a veggie burger but you're interested in it, or you love beans, it's going to be a great recipe. It's like super filling, it's delicious, and like Cecilia said, it definitely does not break the bank. It is very reasonable, and like honestly, who doesn't love a burger? So I think it's going to be a good one. And hopefully by the end of today's workshop, you'll be able to name some tips for saving money. A lot of these tips are super easy. They're very intuitive. So hopefully you guys will get some good information from this. All right. Yeah. All right. So why don't we get started? The first thing I want to know from you guys is what foods do you consider to be expensive? Like, what are some food groups maybe that you're like, ooh, that's expensive. I don't know if I can have that every week.
If I can go first,
Sure.
I would definitely say seafood.
Seafood, yes. Yeah. A lot of times people think like animal proteins are a little expensive, including seafood. I know some people have said like red meat or pork. Chicken, I feel like, is a little bit more reasonably priced, but a lot of times like animal proteins can be a little pricey.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you have any other ideas or any other things that may be a little bit costly?
Let me see. Aside from animal proteins, I mean, I think maybe sometimes vegetables can get expensive because if you're like really trying to, yes, thank you, Alvelin.
Yeah.
If especially for certain rare produce, yes, those can get expensive. Like Alvelin just pointed out, mushrooms,
Right.
depending on which type you purchase, that
Mm-hmm.
can definitely get expensive. So
Yes.
sometimes produce.
Yes. I would, a lot of people think that. A lot of people think that fresh fruits and vegetables, maybe not frozen or canned, those are maybe a little bit more reasonable sometimes, but fresh fruits and vegetables are considered to be expensive, and sometimes people think that they're prohibitively expensive and maybe they're not loading up on as many fruits and vegetables as maybe they are supposed to be or should be or want to, based on the cost. But one thing I do want to show you is how much fruits and vegetables you can get for $10. So I
Mm.
have some fruits and vegetables here in this basket, in this little bowl. And I'm gonna put them in, actually, I'm gonna show you what they all are. So I have this beautiful bunch of asparagus. So we have some asparagus. We have, I turned them upside down because I didn't want to show the label, but I have some blackberries here.
Okay.
Yeah, some delicious blackberries. I have some carrots with a little top still on.
Okay.
I have 2 onions. And I have a potato.
Mm.
Simple little potato. All right, so I want you guys to tell me which of these you think adds up to $10. So as you name something, I'm gonna put it in this little grocery bag.
Okay.
So what do you think is worth $10 based on this?
I think definitely I'll go with the asparagus.
Okay.
Evelyn says him too. Okay.
Okay.
I will also probably go with blackberries
Okay.
because I think that is a seasonal item. So
I love that you said that it's seasonal.
yes.
Oh, Evelyn is saying carrots.
Okay, I was gonna say next carrots.
Okay.
And you said $10, right?
$10.
So far, I don't know, maybe you and I, Evelyn, we can vote. Should we stop or keep going? Evelyn says he doesn't know. Okay. I am probably going to say let's stop because we have asparagus, carrots, and blackberries.
The blackberries, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know one of the reasons you said that you chose these things is because they're seasonal, right?
Yes.
So I love that answer. Yes, oftentimes when produce is in season, it often means that it's less expensive, right? Because that produce grows so abundantly during that time of the year, it brings the cost right down. So asparagus is in season right now. So that is, and blackberries may be in season as well. So that is a great reason to kind of include it in your grocery shopping, especially when you're trying to save money on produce. So I love that you gave that answer.
Okay.
Yeah. So
now I feel like maybe we could have added more because I wasn't aware that it was in season right now.
We can add more. You want to add more?
Okay. Evelyn, shall we continue? Add more?
So what do you think?
I like this game.
The onions, the potato, both, maybe neither?
Let's go with potatoes.
The potato, okay.
Okay. And I know onions are definitely not budget breaking. So maybe throw that in too. Yeah.
All right.
That's everything, right?
Yeah, that's everything. And look, we have a bag full of produce. And you guys are absolutely right. All of the produce cost about $10. So, $10 is not, an extravagant amount of money. It's a pretty reasonable amount of money to spend on fresh fruits and vegetables. And again, I'm going to take these out of the bag so you can see again. You can get all of this for just $10. And the reason why is we already mentioned that some of these are in season. But another reason why I was able to get these for only $10 is that a lot of these are kind of like staple goods, like carrots, onions, potatoes. They're something that you can always have in the house. They last a pretty long time and they're pretty reasonably priced just generally. So these are going to be great produce items to purchase on a regular basis because they're healthy, they're filling, they taste great, but they're also not super expensive. So if you're looking for fresh fruits and vegetables, these are going to be great staple items for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Thanks.
Yes. And then also the blackberries, these are kind of special because I actually got these on sale.
Oh.
So these, which I didn't mean to trick you guys, but these are on sale. So I was able to get these for a really great price. And that's sort of another thing you want to look for when you're going grocery shopping. You want to check out the sales. You can either look at the flyers that go around, the what do they call them? The circulars or
The circulars.
Circulars, yes. You can look at those to see what the sales are before you go shopping. You can look online. You can look for coupons, or you can just go to the store and leave a little wiggle room in your on your grocery list, which we're going to get into later, to find the sales and purchase things on sale, because you're going to get a great price and you're going to really save a lot of money if you shop that way. So already there are some good tips right here about how to save money on fruits and vegetables, because again, it's so important that we're getting in more fruits and vegetables in our diet. You want to try to make at least half of your plate at every meal fruits and vegetables. So these are a great way to kind of save money on those.
That's some great advice. Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to actually go into a little bit, some other things that we can do to save money. And I'm just going to scoot this over so it's on the way. All right. All right, so over here I have some more food shopping strategies to save money. So what do you guys think are some tips that you would maybe have, or you use, or you would, tell a friend to save money at the grocery store? I want to hear from you guys first.
Okay. Tips to save money while shopping. Well, you pretty much mentioned some of them.
Yes.
The circulars, definitely looking in advance. I think buying in season.
Buying in season, absolutely. I'm gonna write these down.
Oh yes, very good, Evelyn. Said make a list of what you are going to eat for the week. Oh, that's excellent.
I'm gonna put this here, buy in season. But yes, absolutely. First thing on the chart is make a list.
Very good.
Making a list is so important, because if I go to the grocery, I know this is definitely for me. If I go to the grocery store and I don't have a list, I will go through every aisle. I will just choose randomly what looks good to me. And I will probably spend more money than I meant to. And I will probably buy things that I don't have a plan for. And if I don't have a plan for certain things, they end up in the refrigerator going bad. Like I don't have a plan for it. I don't know what to do with it, and it goes bad. And then I have to throw it away and waste all that money. So making a list is so crucial. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Evelyn. That's absolutely true. You can compare prices in different locations. Yes, absolutely. So you can go to different stores maybe and say like, oh, maybe, Pathmark has, this for this amount, and ShopRite has this for this amount. So you can compare prices that way. I need to get some advice from your mom, because
right?
That sounds like a really good resource to have.
Yes.
Yes, but not only can you go to different stores to compare prices, but you can also compare prices within the same store. So if you are looking for, let's say, black beans, like we're having today, if you're looking for black beans, there's going to be so many different varieties. There's going to be different brands. So you want to compare the costs of the different brands, but also you want to compare the cost of the different sizes. So if you look at the cost per unit, that's going to be a really good indicator of how much value you're getting. So if you buy maybe a bigger can of black beans, it might be more money overall, but less cost per unit. So you end up saving money in the long run. But of course, if buying in bulk or buying larger portion or larger quantities is going to break your budget, or if you don't have room to store it, then that's definitely something you want to take into consideration. But when you can, it is a really good idea to try to buy things in larger sizes, because often you get a better deal that way. Good. And also I wanted to point out that purchasing the generic brand of something instead of the name brand can often save you a lot of money, and the product is just as good. The quality doesn't necessarily improve when you buy a name brand. You're sort of just paying for the branding. So definitely keep an eye out for the generic brands as well. Great. Do you have any other ideas?
I would probably say I don't know why this is sticking in my head, but don't go to the store hungry.
Yes, actually, that's a great
Oh,
one. Do not
okay.
go to the store hungry. That's like grocery shopping 101. It,
Okay.
if I go to the store hungry, I'm buying the chocolate. I'm buying the like cookies. I'm buying everything because it looks so good to me. So you definitely want to have a meal or a snack before you go to the grocery store so you are not hungry. Absolutely. That's a great money saving tip. Any other
Um,
ideas?
oh, yes.
Yes. Have
Have
a
a
budget.
budget.
Yes, and stick to the budget. It's sort of like
Stick
making a
to the
list,
budget
right?
too. Don't just have one, but stick to it.
All right, so budget. That's a good one. I'll put this right here.
Yes.
And some other things you want to think about before you go grocery shopping, including like similar to like having a budget and making a list, is you want to meal plan.
Mm.
You want to meal plan. This is probably the number one tip I have for saving money. Make a meal plan. The first thing that you want to do when you're making a meal plan is you want to first check to see what food you already have in the house. So you want to check your cabinets, you want to check your refrigerator, you want to check everything, see what you have and see what may be on its way out, what may be going bad or maybe needs to be used up. And sort of make a meal plan from there. Like let's say I have some carrots, like I had today, some carrots that were kind of getting a little sad looking. Maybe I'm gonna make a recipe that uses carrots, like a stir fry or maybe a soup or something. So you want to first check to see what you have and use that up. So by creating meals around those foods. And then once you make a meal plan, you can check to see all of the things that you need, and then you make your list.
Mm-hmm.
So once you make your list, you'll know exactly what you need to purchase from the grocery store, and you won't be going off and buying different things, and everything you buy will have a purpose. You'll know exactly what you're going to do with it, and nothing is going to go bad.
Yes.
So if you learned nothing else today, I hope you learned the importance of meal planning, because that is going to be like the best thing you can do to save money.
I agree with you 1,000%.
Yes, and these are all things you can do before you go grocery shopping. And then while you're grocery shopping, you can compare costs. And then after you grocery shop, this is an important thing too. You want to store all your food properly. If food is stored properly, it actually is going to last longer. And if it lasts longer, then it's not going to go bad. You're not going to have to throw it away. So by prolonging the life of your food, even if for some reason you don't stick to your meal plan, like maybe something comes up and something that you purchased doesn't get used right away, if you're storing it properly, it's going to last. It's not going to be, it's not going to go bad immediately. Right. So that's a really important thing to save money as well. All right, can we think of anything else? I have some more tips over here too.
Let me see. Did we say buy in bulk already?
Yeah, but that's exactly what it says here, buy in bulk. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So like if you're comparing costs and you find something that's bigger, definitely buy that because it's usually a better deal. Absolutely. We talked about buying in season already. We talked about looking at coupons and looking at the circulars. We talked about planning. Yeah, and the other thing that's, we're gonna actually talk about this a little bit more when we're cooking up our veggie burgers, but convenience foods actually cost more money. If you're able to make things from scratch, it's gonna save you money in the long run. So for example, if we're buying frozen veggie burgers, that's gonna probably cost a lot more than if we were to make our own veggie burgers. So if you have the time and the ability, it's often best to make things from scratch. So that's why I'm really excited to show you this recipe today, because it's a really nice way to save a little bit of money.
Yes.
Yes. Another thing that kind of goes with making a meal plan is it's nice to be able to batch cook one day of the week. So make a big portion of something that you enjoy, like on a Sunday or whatever day works for you. And then you'll have the leftovers for the rest of the week. And not only will this be great because you're using up the groceries that you're buying, so they're not going to go bad, you're actually cooking them. But if you store them properly in the fridge or even put them in individual containers and put them in the freezer, they're gonna last a long time. And the best thing is that you have a meal ready to go so that you're not gonna be tempted by like takeout or delivery or going out to eat, because you have a delicious quick meal ready to go at home. So I love batch cooking as well. And then, yeah, again, eating out is very expensive. So being able to cook for yourself as much as possible is going to save you so much money in the long run.
These are wonderful tips.
Yeah.
So it's very helpful.
They're really useful. So of all of the things that we talked about today, all these tips, which one do you think will save you the most money?
Ooh, planning ahead.
Planning ahead. Cool. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think that making a meal plan is going to be maybe a little time consuming, maybe a little bit hard at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really fun and it's really very easy. And I do think that'll save you the most money. Absolutely. Okay. So what do we think? Do you think this is something you could do? You think you can make a meal plan or use some of these tips, or do you think it might be difficult to do these things?
No, I think definitely it's easy to implement a meal plan, especially when you put it the way you did, in terms of not only are you saving time with a meal plan, but the money aspect, and also being able to prepare for a week's worth of meals. It's a thing that kills two birds with one stone. I think, yeah, it's easy to do.
Absolutely. Great. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear if you manage your time at first. Yes, of course, it's all about time management. So maybe it's not something you're going to be doing during finals week, like I get that. But when you can, when you have the ability to, when you have the time to, it will really save your budget, I think. All right, so now that we've talked all about how to save money and we talked about how great cooking is and how much money it'll save you, why don't we get started with our delicious recipe? So again, we are making black bean veggie patties. So these are great to have with like a hamburger, like on a hamburger bun, or you can, have a salad and serve it over a salad. You can even just serve it on its own with maybe a side of rice and some extra vegetables. They're really versatile. And honestly, like I said, who doesn't love a burger? Put a little ketchup, put a little mustard on it, put a little cheese if you want to. It's going to be delicious. So the ingredients that we need for this recipe, I did send around the recipe, but why don't I put it in the chat just in case somebody didn't get it?
Okay.
And this way you can follow along. All right. All right. All right, so in case you didn't have the recipe and you want to follow along, it's in the chat now. All right, so the ingredients that you're going to need for this recipe are, and before I start, I did want to let you know that I washed my hands. The first thing you want to do before you cook, before you prep food, before you handle any food, is you want to wash your hands. Your hands contain germs, and you don't want to pass those germs onto the food you're going to be eating, because that can lead to foodborne illness. So it's very important to wash your hands, wash all of your produce, even the produce that you're going to peel, like the onions, you're going to want to rinse that off as well. And then wash, of course, the bowls, the cutting boards, everything. So I cannot emphasize that enough. You definitely want to wash everything before you start cooking. All right, so what we're using in today's recipe is, sorry, one more thing. I'm actually halving the recipe. So the recipe that I posted, I'm making half of it because I am just one person. I'm just cooking for myself. So I really wanted to save, I didn't want to waste anything basically. So I'm making half the recipe. So if everything looks a little bit smaller than you think it should, it's because it is. I'm just making half of it. All right, so over here I have some black beans that I mashed up. I have a green pepper, a green bell pepper that I chopped up very finely. I have a red onion that I also chopped up finely. And I do want to mention that if you don't like green peppers, if you prefer red ones or yellow ones or orange ones, you can use whatever one you like. The recipe calls for green, and green is often the least expensive pepper. So if you're looking to save a little bit of money, of course, buying the least expensive pepper is going to save you. So that is why I'm using green, but if you can use whatever pepper you like. And that goes the same for the red onion. If you want to use a white onion or a yellow onion, that's totally fine as well. I have a little bit of minced garlic here. I have some breadcrumbs. And of course it is going, I actually got this from like a can, a jar. But making your own breadcrumbs is going to be the most cost effective. So if you have some bread that maybe went a little stale, whizzing it up in like a food processor is going to be a really nice way to make your own breadcrumbs and save you a little bit of money. And then over here, I have a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, some egg. The egg is going to be used to bind everything together so that, it sticks together into a patty and it doesn't crumble and fall apart. And then I have some spices here. So I have a little bit of cumin and a little bit of chili powder. And this is going to add so much flavor to our veggie burgers. It's going to be delicious. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our beans, we're going to mash them up. So I already mashed most of them, but I'm going to finish it up with you guys. You can use like a potato masher if you want to. I just use a fork. I find it works really well and it's super easy. So I just basically put the beans in a bowl and just use the back of my fork to sort of mash them all up. And you can leave them a little bit chunky. It's nice to have a little bit of texture, I think. So I do leave them a little bit chunky, but I do mash them up a bit.
Okay.
So now that I've mashed them all up, I'm going to put them in this big bowl. And this is where we're going to mix everything together. And black beans are so delicious, of course, but they're also incredibly healthy. So black beans are a great source of vegetarian protein. So if you are vegetarian or vegan, or if you are looking to eat more plant-based, but still have meat sometimes, or if you're just looking for a quick and cheap protein option, beans are your friend. Beans are going to be so amazing for you. They are reasonably priced, especially if you buy them dried and cook them yourself. That's going to be the least expensive way to cook them or to have beans. These were actually from a can, but of course, if I were to have soaked them and cooked them myself, it would have been less money. Beans are also full of fiber, and fiber is such an important nutrient to help you stay full, to keep you regular, to help you manage your weight. What else? It helps you, it helps your blood sugars. It helps so your blood sugars don't spike. So that's really important. Feel full helps with bowel movements. Absolutely. Yeah. So, fiber is going to be super important for all of these things. It also helps with your heart. Fiber is really important for your heart. It helps to lower your blood cholesterol. So I cannot emphasize that fiber is amazing more. And beans are like the best source of fiber. So definitely want to get some beans in your diet. And just like with the peppers and the onions, if you don't like black beans, you can definitely substitute for a different kind of bean. I think like a cannellini bean would work well here. Maybe even a chickpea. You can definitely play around and see if you don't like black beans, or if you don't have black beans and you have something else, you could definitely try to make something else. You could definitely try it with something else. All right, so now that I have my beans in here, I'm gonna add the rest of my ingredients. So I have my green pepper that I'm just gonna add right to this bowl. And the green pepper is going to add a lot of moisture. So sometimes veggie patties are like a little dry, but the veggies in this are going to add a lot of moisture without making it all wet. Like we don't want like a sloppy patty, we don't want a dry patty. So the vegetables are going to release some moisture to like keep it moist without, making it too wet. So that's not only you're getting some great nutrition, like these peppers are a really great source of vitamin C. Like actually bell peppers have more vitamin C than like an orange does. So yeah, so bell peppers are really great. So not only getting a lot of health benefits, but you're also, getting that good moisture for the veggie patty. All right, I'm gonna add my onions as well. And this is adding so much flavor also. Yeah. We don't want to use a ton of we don't need to use a ton of salt to make things taste good. We're going to use a lot of aromatic vegetables. We're going to use a lot of spices. That's just going to be like a healthier way to cook. All right, and I'm gonna add the garlic as well.
Can't skip the garlic.
No, I actually like put a little more garlic than I should have because I just love garlic so much.
Yeah.
I always say this whenever I'm not sauteing today, but when I am sauteing, I always say, like, is it even a dish if you don't have garlic and onion in it? Like, it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't even count unless you like use a little bit of garlic and onion. So I'm just gonna mix this all together and try to get like a uniform mixture out of it. I feel like I have a lot of veggies in here today.
It looks pretty, the mesh of the colors.
Yeah, look at all the different colors. And that's why using vegetables is so much fun. Like, you get all of these different colors. Your food looks so beautiful. Yeah, I just love using vegetables in different colors.
Evelyn says, wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because like black beans are not like the most attractive looking, especially when you mash them up, it's like not the most attractive looking food. But with all of these other colors and all these other vegetables in it, it's like really becomes something very beautiful. All right, so I'm just sort of mixing this up together. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to add some of the spices. So I have my egg here. And again, the egg is going to be used as a binder to sort of keep everything together. And to that, I'm going to add my spices. So again, I have about half a tablespoon of chili powder and about 1 tablespoon of cumin. So I'm just going to add this to the egg and give it a little mix. I apologize for the sirens. They're always going off over here.
That's totally fine.
What's that?
I said that is totally fine.
Yeah, it's always so loud. All right, so I'm just going to give this a quick mix. And this is going to, again, do you enjoy cumin or chili powder? Is that something that you usually cook with?
I love cumin.
Yeah.
I love cumin. I use it. Okay, Evelyn says he's never tried it, but
oh wow, you should definitely try it. It's delicious.
Yeah, I usually use it when I'm browning like either ground turkey or ground beef when I'm making tacos for the kids.
Yes. Yeah, it's great for tacos and like Mexican food. Yeah. Cumin is like a very it has like a very earthy flavor.
Yes.
It's like it's like a deep earthy flavor, and it's pretty like strong, but without being, it's a pretty strong flavor. And I happen to really love it. And then chili powder, of course, is going to be just a little bit spicy, not super spicy. Oh, you know what? I forgot one thing. I'm gonna just grab it. Hot sauce.
Oh, yeah, the secret ingredient.
Yeah, so I like things a little bit spicy, so I'm gonna add just a dash of hot sauce to this.
Okay.
So just
may I ask which type of hot sauce that is?
This is Cholula.
Okay, I'm not sure if that one is like one of the really hot ones.
It's not super hot. I mean, it always depends on how much you put. So I just put a dash.
Okay.
I happen to like Cholula, but any hot sauce will work. Honestly, it's not like this is the only one that you can use. Anything will work if you have like Frank's or I don't know, Tabasco sauce, whatever. Anything will work. Oh. And again, this is just to add like a little bit of spice. It's not overpowering. Although if you want to be overpowering, you can add as much as you want. All right.
Can I ask you, Erica? I mean, honestly, I'm a little bit confused at the difference between chili powder and paprika. Can you explain for me, please, if you happen to?
Yeah, that's a great question. From what I can tell, I think they're just different peppers.
Okay. Okay.
Like I think chili powder comes from a chili pepper, and I think paprika comes from just a different kind of pepper. Okay. But I'm not 100% sure, so I can look that up and let you know after.
Okay, no, that's totally fine. I've always not really been too sure because I feel like they sort of taste similar, but I don't know. I just go with whatever.
I think that they also, and you know what, that's really a good point, because a lot of times these different spices are very interchangeable. Like, for example, if you don't like cumin, you could add something else. If you don't have chili powder, you could add paprika and it would still be absolutely delicious. So anything here is sort of like changeable. It's sort of like customizable. So feel free to substitute as you like or as you have things. You don't have to stick to a recipe exactly the way it's written. So I love to tell people that you are the chef in your own kitchen. So you get to make things exactly how you like them.
Right.
So if you have something else in the kitchen that you want to use up, throw that in instead. If you don't like red onions, leave them out. Add something else. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can make it exactly how you like it. All right, so I have my egg and the spices here, and I'm just gonna add this to my black bean mixture. I'm gonna try to get all of it out because I don't want to miss any of that good flavor. And then I'm just going to sort of mix everything together a little bit, just to sort of get everything going.
I'm excited and can't wait. I have all of my ingredients in the kitchen. So
you're
I'm
ready to
like,
go. You just gotta.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to go ahead and make mine.
That's great. Well, hopefully, this isn't too hard to watch. I know when I'm hungry, it's like impossible to watch like cooking shows or something. But so I'm just gonna turn on my skillet. I realize I haven't done that yet, so I'm just gonna turn on like a medium heat. And I already sprayed it with a little cooking spray. So like some vegetable oil, like spray. I just covered it in that just because we don't want anything to stick. This is pretty non-stick, but just to be safe. And to also give it like a little bit of that like, I don't know, that like grilled quality.
Okay.
All right. So
can I use maybe olive oil or avocado?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Olive oil would be great. Canola oil, any vegetable oil you have is going to be fantastic. You don't have to use the spray. It's just sort of easy. All right. So to this mixture, I mixed up the egg and everything in there, and I'm going to add some breadcrumbs. And again, the breadcrumbs are just going to sort of soak up any extra moisture and help with binding. So I'm just going to mix all of that together. And then the last thing I'm going to add is a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Because we're using so many spices and all of those aromatic vegetables, we don't need a ton of salt, but I do like to add a little just to sort of bring all the flavors out.
Yes.
So I'm just going to add like a pinch, a couple pinches.
So when you're cooking the beans, we do not add salt, right?
Yes, it's better not to add salt. Sometimes if you add salt to the cooking water, it makes the beans too tough and they never quite soften up as much as you want to. So it is better not to add salt or to add the salt at the very, very end. But honestly, I don't think you really need to flavor the beans because usually when you cook, like you make stuff with beans, you're going to add a lot of flavor anyway. So I personally never really add salt, but if that's something that you usually do, then that's fine. I would just do it at the end.
Okay.
All right, so now I am just going to keep mixing everything up, and then we have this good mixture, and it's all coming together. And then this is the fun part. I am going to form the patties. So I'm just going to use my hands because honestly, it's the easiest way to do it. So because I'm making half the recipe, I'm going to make about 2 patties. So I'm literally just going to take my mixture and sort of mush it together.
Evelyn says hands are tools.
Hands are like the best tools.
And they are the best tools. Yes, they are. Thank you for that, Evelyn.
Yes. They're the best tools because you get to you really have control over them. Versus like if you were using like a fork or something, you don't have full control over it. All right. So I'm just patting this into like a little patty shape. I'm trying to flatten it out a little bit because I do want to make sure it's all the way cooked through. So if it's too thick, it might be hard to cook through. And it is very important that this is cooked through because there is, again, raw egg in it. And we want to make sure that our eggs are cooked to about 160 degrees. So I am going to make them on the flatter side. All right, so this is 1 patty. I'm going to make 3 patties, actually. Keep them small.
It's amazing that you're able to get that much out of what looks like so little beans. It didn't look like it was
there's about 1 cup of beans in there. And that's also the nice thing about adding the vegetables. It kind of bulks it up. Yes. All right, so I'm just going to put that patty on there. Just make another one. Oh, it smells good already. I wish you guys could smell it.
I know. We say that every week. We wish we had smell-o-vision.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Evelyn, are you cooking along or are you just watching? Just curious. It's totally fine either way. Okay.
Just watching.
Well, then I wish
Okay.
you could smell also.
Because I never cook. That's what you said.
Well,
Evelyn,
maybe after watching all of these, you'll be a little inspired to.
we need to get you on a meal plan and start planning your meals out.
So the recipe that I sent around is for like the Just Say Yes website. And on that website, there are like over 200 recipes, and they're all like mostly they're plant-based. Some of them have, you know, animal products, but they're mostly plants. And their recipes are super simple and they're really delicious. So if ever you wanted to start cooking, you know, I'm obviously a big fan of cooking. So if ever you wanted to start, I think that might be a nice place to begin because there are so many good recipes there.
Can I ask you, Erica, what led to this passion with food and I guess nutrition? What?
So that's such a good question. I didn't always. So I went back to school for nutrition. I wasn't always a dietitian. Like I became a dietitian. I was actually in a totally different field before this, and I just wasn't like as happy in that field as I know I could have been. And I was sort of like soul searching. I always loved biology and I always loved health. It was something that was like very important to me and something I was always interested in, but I never really found my way. And then it kind of all clicked and I was like, I love nutrition. I'm going to go back to school for nutrition. I love food. I was a vegetarian at the time. So these black bean patties are something that I would like make on a regular basis while I was vegetarian. And I think that being a vegetarian and sort of like needing to find the right balance of food to keep me healthy, like definitely led to this passion.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna let these cook for just a few minutes. I'm gonna just rinse my hands off because they are a little bit messy. So I'll just be back in 2 seconds.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Evelyn Nairobi, for joining us. Really appreciate your presence here today. I wish I could have a burger right now.
Oh, soon. All right, so I have my spatula. All right, so while these are cooking up, I did want to chat a little bit about, so just like it's really important to eat healthy, to eat foods that give us energy, that nourish our body, that, you know, kind of ward off diseases. It's also really important that we are physically active as well, right? Physical activity is just as important as food when we're talking about our health. So a lot of times people think that it can be very expensive to work out or to be physically active. They think that gym memberships cost a lot of money. You know, you have to get all the gear, you have to get all the workout clothes, gotta look cute. But to be honest, you can work out with very little money. You don't really need to spend a ton of money. There are many cheap or totally free options. Can you guys think of anything that you like to do that maybe doesn't cost a lot of money when it comes to physical activity?
Walking.
Yes, 100%. Walking is my absolute favorite form of physical activity.
Yes.
I love that, Evelyn. You work out with YouTube. That is my number one like tip for people if they're trying to like get into exercising. YouTube has a million workout videos, all different varieties. If you like to work out with weights, you can do that. If you like to do yoga, you can do that. If you like HIIT training, you can do that. They have everything on YouTube.
He says Chloe
Ting. I love
is
Chloe
good.
Ting. I do her workouts also. She is great.
I'm not familiar with her. I would love to check her out.
Yeah, she has all different workouts. Some of them have like, you can use dumbbells. Some of them are totally body weight. So it really depends on like what you have available to you. And she's great. She's really fun. Yeah. So yeah, you can do Chloe Ting workouts. You can do yoga. I really like Yoga with Adriene if you're looking for any sort of yoga workouts. So yeah, YouTube is a fantastic resource. I cannot like emphasize that enough. Walking outside, utilizing our parks. There's so
Yes.
many beautiful parks in New York City. You can go for a walk there, you can go for a jog, you can ride a bike. You could just be out in nature, and it feels, not only does it like feel good physically, it also feels good mentally. Like you surround yourself with the greenery, especially now that it's getting warmer out. So I definitely recommend utilizing the parks, utilizing YouTube. There are even workout classes through the Parks Department called Shape Up New York or Shape Up NYC. And they're free workout classes. They're often outdoors and socially distanced right now. So you can go to the Shape Up NYC website and check that out too if you're looking for something a little bit more interactive and you know, like an actual class with people. And you also don't need to buy like dumbbells or weights. Yep, Shape Up NYC. Yeah, thank you. You also don't need to buy like dumbbells or weights if that's sort of like cost prohibitive for you. You can use like cans of beans or like bottles. Any sort of like full bottle is going to be a nice weight for you as well. And if you do a lot of reps with like a lower weight, you know, that's still going to be a great exercise. So you can get creative with it also. You don't need to spend a ton of money on a gym if you don't want to.
That's some wonderful advice.
Yeah. All right. So I'm just going to give these a quick flip. You want to do about 5 minutes on each side. Yeah, it's already getting nice and browned. So that's good. I'll fall apart a little bit.
So it's on medium heat right now.
Yes.
Okay. And we're just basically kind of like cooking the egg because the egg and the vegetables, I guess. Because
yeah, we want to just cook. I mean, eating the raw vegetables is fine, but I do like to like make sure that they're cooked through a little bit. And sort of browning it up so that it has that nice like toasty, warm quality that a burger usually has. So, but of course, the most important thing is that we're cooking that egg. So I'm just going to give a few minutes to each side. So about 5 minutes each side. But yeah, so yes, physical activity is incredibly important, and it doesn't have to be cost prohibitive. If you do want to go to a gym, I would recommend checking out like a Y or some sort of like local like community center. Often they have gyms or workout equipment, and they usually don't cost as much as like a different gym membership. So those are also good options as well.
I think that's one of the good things about New York City is that we have a lot of recreational space that can be used for bike riding, like you said, even just to take a walk. There's lots of parks that have, you know, trails for walking. And like I said, because the weather is getting nice, I think that's one of the beautiful things about the city here that just makes it kind of easy to, you know, be a bit active.
Absolutely. Yeah, New York City is like so full of everything, which is why I love it here, including, like you said, recreational spaces, which is so much fun. Is everyone here based in the Bronx, or where's everyone based?
I am based in the Bronx, yes.
So you have some beautiful parks up there. You have like Van Cortlandt, right?
Yes, Van Cortlandt Park is really, really pretty. I'm not too familiar with the names. I know them by location.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Van Cortlandt Park is one of my favorites, actually. That's where I bring my kids all the time.
Oh, I'm sure they love that.
Yeah. Nairobi says she's in the Bronx as well.
Oh, and Evelyn is in Manhattan. Cool, very cool. So of course, Manhattan has Central Park, but it has a million other parks as well. I used to live in Manhattan as well. I live in Brooklyn now. So now I go to Prospect Park, but when I was living in Manhattan,
I was going to mention Prospect Park.
Yeah.
Prospect Park is, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Prospect Park is the biggest of all of the parks in the 5 boroughs, because I forgot how many acres. I think so. Prospect Park is really huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I actually live just like a block from it, so it's very convenient for me. I like to go running there. When I lived in Manhattan, I would go to Central Park and I would go running there.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, I grew up outside of the city, but just a little bit north. And cross country meets, they would go to Van Cortlandt Park and like do cross country meets and like
Okay.
do these runs there. So definitely utilize the parks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's so
Alvin says he's in Washington Heights. I know one of the parks, the big parks in Washington Heights. The one over by Dykeman, you can probably tell me the name. I'm sorry, can't remember um the name of it right now, but
Like
there's a
that man
nice.
is the cloister.
Yes, thank you. Well, Cloisters, can you walk?
Fort Tyron
Yes, Fort Tyron. Yes, yes.
or Tryon. I can never pronounce that right, to be honest.
Whichever one it is.
Try it on.
Yeah, it's beautiful up there. The cloisters is
It's
so
very
gorgeous.
beautiful. It's very scenic, and oh, I just love going up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think an additional plus or advantage too is the fact that they do have the city bikes. I think, because I feel like in the city, space is limited. Oh, let me speak for myself. Space is
Yes,
limited.
absolutely.
So, having access to the city bikes, I think it's a wonderful option if you cannot store a bike in your home.
I always like to mention city bikes during these workshops as well because it is such a great resource. They're relatively inexpensive. Somebody told me that if you live in NYCHA housing, it's only $5 a month for city bikes, which
What?
is so much less than the cost of a monthly Metro card or anything else. So
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
yeah, someone told me that recently and I was like, that's fantastic. So definitely utilize city bikes if they are available to you. They're not in every neighborhood, unfortunately, yet. But if you live near them and you enjoy biking, you don't have to necessarily like commute with them. You can always just like take them to the park and go for a ride.
Right.
So I love city bike. All right,
Yeah.
so these guys I think are just about done. So I'm gonna turn this off and I have a little plate here. I'm just gonna plate it up. And I don't have a bun for today, but honestly, I don't usually eat it with a bun. I don't really find that it needs it. I just kind of eat it on its own with like some sides. But I'm gonna come over and show you what it looks like.
Okay. I bought a
Here we go.
salad to go with mine. Oh, that
Yeah,
looks so
salad.
good. It looks like meat.
Kind of, yeah, because it's gotten a little brown, so we had that kind of like char grill kind of texture
Yeah.
to it. And you can see all of the beautiful vegetables in there. You can see all the green from the peppers. So yeah, this is the final product. I'm just gonna let it cool a little bit and I'll do a taste test for you.
Okay.
But another thing I like to mention, Cecilia, you said you have kids. It's so great to get kids in the kitchen and to help you cook. So like for example, with this recipe today, you can maybe the kids can help you mash the beans. I feel like kids would love doing that.
They would love doing that.
Yeah, so like maybe you don't want them to necessarily, chop anything, or maybe like play with the raw egg, but like having them help you mix things before the egg goes in, or like mashing up those beans is a really great way to get kids involved. And when kids are involved in the cooking, they're more likely to eat what's on the table. So that is so important, especially if you're a picky kid. It helps them to, eat the healthier foods, eat the fruits and vegetables and things like that.
I was thinking to pair my because I bought avocados as well. I was thinking,
yeah, this would be so good with avocado.
so I have my salad and I'll have the burger and then I'll pair it with some avocado. I didn't know if I was going to make like an avocado sauce. I don't even know how I will, mix it, but I was thinking to kind of put like avocado on top and then have a salad on the side.
That sounds so delicious. I think even like slices of avocado on top of this would just be, or like you could even mash it on top, like so good. Oh, I love avocado. That's such a great idea.
I love, I was thinking like avocado and cilantro and maybe a little salt and pepper. And I don't know if I was going to mix it with some olive oil. I don't know. I was thinking, I haven't figured it out yet. I'm just freestyling in my
You'll go
head.
in the
but
kitchen, you'll play around, and you'll find it.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, lime would
Oh,
be great.
very good. Thank you, Evelyn. That is an excellent. See, this is why I need you
Mhm.
guys in my life. I need a good
Yes,
idea. Or
absolutely.
tomato.
I
Yeah.
love the idea of cilantro. Also, I think even mixing the cilantro in with the rest of the veggies would have been like really
Oh,
delicious.
yeah.
Also, yeah. All
I
right, so I'm gonna do a
love
quick little
cilantro.
taste test. Mm,
Oh,
it's really good. The
I could
spices really
tell.
come through,
Oh, nice.
and the vegetables like add a nice crunch. They add that good moisture. It's a little bit spicy because I did add a little bit of hot sauce.
Mhm.
It's very good. And like I said, it's full of protein, it's full of fiber, it's full of all of those good for you vitamins and minerals. So highly recommend that you guys try this out. It is very tasty.
I definitely believe that our students could create this. And I definitely also believe that they can do this without, stress or much effort. And more importantly, this is not breaking the bank at all.
Exactly. And it's a complete, you're getting a pretty complete meal. You're getting vegetables, you're getting protein, you're getting carbohydrates. So you're getting a nice balanced meal as well, which is what we're aiming for. Balanced meals are what keep us full. So yeah. Well, I do want to say thank you so much for joining me today. Before you go, I would love if you guys could fill out a very quick, brief survey. I'm going to go on my phone and set it, and I can drop the link to it in the chat. This survey is totally anonymous. It's confidential. None of your information will be traced to you in any way. And the only purpose is that it really helps us to create better programming. Because we want to, better serve you guys. These workshops are for you. So by getting your opinions, by getting your, your information, it's going to help us to create even better content for you. So I would really appreciate if you guys could fill it out.
Sure.
I'm just going to copy and paste it. The first question asks for the workshop ID, and it is FBNYC. So I will put that in here as well, in the chat as well. All right. So I dropped the link. Let me know if you have any trouble opening it or anything.
I was able to open it.
Okay, great. So I'll be on for a few more minutes. If you have any questions about it, I'm happy to answer them. But other than that, I just want to say again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed going over all these tips with you and making this delicious meal. And you guys had some really great ideas. I love the idea of the cilantro and the avocado. I love the idea of like the budget and the buying things in season. So you guys are fantastic.
Thank you for taking the time and doing this with us.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure. You are so welcome. Yeah, this was so much fun.
Okay. Okay, I have finished the
All right.
survey.
Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. I really do appreciate it.
No, thank you. This is so wonderful. I'm about to go make mine. I can't wait.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep you any longer. You must be so hungry.
Okay. Is anybody have any questions before we close out? Evelyn? or maybe he's doing a survey. That's okay. He can get in touch with me, and if needed, I can get in touch with
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I think
Thank
it's
you.
pretty self-explanatory, but I always like to say it in case there are any questions.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Erica, for being a wonderful guest. Wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me. This was honestly so much fun, and I really enjoyed spending time with you guys this evening.
Yes. Thank you so much, Evelyn, as well, for attending.
Yes, thank you.
And I will keep in touch with you, okay?
Sounds great.
All right. Have a good evening.
All right, thanks so much. You too. Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care,
Bye.
everybody.